good afternoon, and shout out to my people out there. This is going to be another episode of commentary from the car. I haven't done one in a few days because I don't want to be one of those people that talks about the same thing over and over and over, and then people just get tired of hearing about it. So I didn't do one this morning because, well, I found some stuff during the day today, and I kind of wanted to explain a few things. So one of the things that I'm finding is, well, most of you probably already know there's all kinds of these polls going on. Every news channel out there has polls. Should President Trump be impeached? Pops up on your Facebook, vote now. Tell us what you think. Okay, so people are going kind of nuts over these polls. First and foremost, if you guys will remember the 2016 election polls and how accurate they were. Okay, yeah. Polls are not an end-all be-all. Now, so there's some people that are being aggravated because these impeachment polls show a rising number of people that want President Trump impeached. So I'm going to hopefully try to clarify a few things. Now, first of all, just to avoid any misinterpretation, impeachment is not removal from office. Impeachment is simply the House of Representatives putting together a case of what they believe that the president has done wrong involving high crimes and misdemeanors, and submitting that to the Senate for trial. That's all it is having charges brought against the president. So impeached does not mean removed from office. Okay, so there's four types of people out there. There's people that would impeach Trump and remove him from office for jaywalking. Okay, for anything. If he was walking through somewhere and accidentally sneezed on somebody, they would turn that into something. Trump attacks little child at mall food court and try to impeach him for it and remove him from office. The other kind of people is the exact opposite. They're the ones that there could be video evidence of Donald Trump snorting cocaine out of a hooker's belly button in the Oval Office, and they'd be like, this guy's not so bad. Kind of like him. He can stay. Okay? The exact opposite extreme. Then there's people that are in the middle. They would want President Trump impeached if he did something that was legitimately harming the country or taking advantage of the situation. And on the flip side of that, they would not want him impeached if it wasn't proven that he actually engaged in those activities with those intentions. Okay. So now there's the fourth kind of people. And here's where we get into a bit of a discussion on it, because I know there's these types of people out here because I know I'm one of them. And this is one of the reasons why you're seeing the poll numbers go up the way that they are. So before I get into the fourth type of person, I want to kind of recap and explain what's going on in the House of Representatives right now. Now, when the Constitution was written, some areas were somewhat vague. Kind of like the Second Amendment, the right of the citizens to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. They didn't write out little details about what types of guns and what size magazines and bump stocks and silencers. They didn't even know these things were going to exist one day. They simply put the right of the American people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So they wrote that in the mindset that we were always going to be a free country, and they they didn't write it in the mindset that they thought it would be taken at its word. Okay? So, along with that, the Constitution does state that the House of Representatives has the sole authority to bring impeachment on the president, essentially. Right. So, just like anything else with Congress, I fully and wholeheartedly believe that that was intended to happen with a vote. I mean, the only way you can address that many people with a singular noun is to assume that group of people is supposed to be united in one body, where just like every other act of Congress, you vote on it, majority rules, or you have to have a 2/3 vote or whatever, but there's a vote. So that hasn't happened yet. Still has not happened yet. So because of this, Pelosi and Schiff and Nadler and all the Democrats get to make up all the rules and do whatever they want. Right now, with this impeachment inquiry going on, the Democrats have all the power and the majority. The Republicans are not allowed to subpoena evidence. They are not allowed to call witnesses. They are not allowed to cross-examine witnesses that the Democrats call. They are completely sidelined in all of this. Completely sidelined in all of this. They're not allowed to do anything, but basically sit there and take notes. In fact, I even saw it in one article, didn't verify, don't know if it's 100% true, that they were even told that they cannot ask questions. Not cross-examine witnesses, but they could not even ask questions about what was going on during these proceedings. So, that's where we're at. Now, excuse me. So, the fourth type of people, and this is where I fall. I want the House of Representatives to impeach Donald Trump. I want them to draft up articles of impeachment and send them to the Senate. I do. I don't think they will, but I want them to. And here's the answer to both of those as to why. So, in the Senate, most of you probably know, the Republicans have the majority. The Republicans make all of the rules for how that's carried out. There's outlines, but essentially the same thing is reversed. Except the Republicans are not going to take away the president's due process or anyone else's. They're going to run it like it constitutionally should be ran. The only difference is, do you know what's going to be off limits? Not one solitary thing. You know what witnesses are going to be off limits? Not one solitary witness. Nothing will be off limits for this trial. And the best thing about this trial is it's going to be right out there in the open in front of all of the American people. Nobody's going to be able to censor it. Nobody's going to be able to cover it up because the people are going to want to see it. The communist news network, CNN, nope. They're going to have to show it or not show it. It's going to air somewhere. MSDNC, same thing. There's going to be so much stuff coming out so fast, the media is not going to be able to manipulate it fast enough to turn it into what they and the majority of the Democrats want you to take from it, it's going to catch up with them. Here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that the whole time that the Mueller investigation was going on, there were other investigations going on as well. One in particular, before Mr. Jeff Sessions recused himself from that, he appointed Mr. John Huber to start investigating the origins of why that was started, with about 5 times the manpower at his disposal that Mueller had. That hasn't come out yet. John Durham's scope on his investigation into how the whole Russian thing got started just expanded its scope. I'll let you in on a little secret. For that to happen, he was directed to look into whether or not the possibility of the spying and collusion with other countries and their intelligence was used. So, for him to get his scope expanded, he would have had to come back and show reasonable suspicion that there was that activity, if not hardcore proof that there was that activity, and get permission to expand that scope to be able to go and run down and investigate whatever he needed to get to the end of it, to get to the bottom of it. Okay, that just got expanded. So, in this trial for impeachment on whatever the House of Representatives can dream up and scratch down on paper, maybe in crayon, who knows, whatever they can draw up and send to the Senate, you're going to see testimony from everybody from Barack Obama to Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Papadopoulos, George Soros, Hillary Clinton. And if you think that's not over, keep in mind, people, there's no double jeopardy because James Comey never charged her with any type of obstruction or destruction of government property or anything over acid washing, the subpoenaed emails, and all that stuff. She was never charged because Comey said no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges, right? So, no double jeopardy there. She can still be charged for obstruction of justice. The proof is there. We have the text messages from Strzok and Page saying, talking about the Russia investigation as an insurance policy in case he got elected. There's just crime after crime after crime. If you think this stuff is over with Joe Biden, you're absolutely wrong. This is what started the impeachment inquiry, is our president honoring a treaty that Bill Clinton and Ukraine signed, like 96, I believe. 1996, they signed this treaty saying that they would work together on matters, and if there was suspicion, they not only would, but they were obligated to inform the other one. That's what President Trump was doing in the phone call. He was honoring that treaty between us and Ukraine. So, like I said before, so much stuff is going to come out. The media will not be able to handle it fast enough to censor it. It's going to be right there before all the American people to see. Everything's going to come out. You're going to see declassified documents. You're going to see stuff falling out of the sky that's been declassified. Plus, a horde of information and evidence that they've uncovered through these other investigations. All right there in plain sight. Nobody to censor it. Nobody to take it away and just run off with it. They're going to have to cover it. They can't just make it go away and just quit bringing it up like Jeffrey Epstein. That's more stuff that I bet would come out in that, because nothing will be off limits. Finally, the Republicans will have the chance to not only clear their name, but go after the people responsible for the crap that has been going on since before Donald Trump got elected. Okay? Since before he got elected. they were already talking about impeaching him. He hadn't had a chance to do anything wrong. And unfortunately, for a lot of Americans, he hasn't had a chance to do anything right. Because no matter what he does, it's wrong. That's a complex that we'll get into maybe on another video sometime. Anyway, so recap. We got our 3 types of people, then we have our 4th type of person, like me, that want him to be impeached. So don't freak out when you see the poll numbers. I love our country. I support our president. And I would love to see him impeached, just so we can get our side of the story out and be able to clear his name in a rightful manner without people stepping on him. That's my commentary for the card today. If you like it, hit the button. If you think other people are going to like it, hit the button so they can like it too. Have a great day. Y'all be safe.